So thanks once again for joining.
Yeah, thank you.
As you know, we are going to talk about this SQLMonitor tool, and
Yeah.
today also let me give you a brief demo, and then we will take the questions and answers at the point where we run the PowerShell script.
Okay. Sure.
So, like in the last session, where I showed a demo on experiment machine, I am going to choose the same machine once again.
Okay.
I have reset this machine already. So what does that mean is this machine does not have anything again.
Okay.
Just to confirm all the settings, I have a local
Okay.
SQL Server Instance. It is a named SQL Server Instance running under local service account. The box or the server is not joined to any domain, so it is a local standalone server, just like our laptops or desktops. Okay. SQLMonitor is not set up. You can see here I don't have any DBA database, nor there are any jobs. Cool. If you watched the previous video, then in that I mentioned some prerequisites like whatever server we are using for setting up the baseline for other servers. For example, I am using this server as a central server, and then I run all my scripts from this server. In that case, I need to install two PowerShell modules. The first one is POSRS job, second one is DBA Tools. So let's start with that part. I already installed basic software like Google Chrome, Visual Studio Code on this box, and Git. So the basic software which I already installed are Google Chrome, but Google Chrome, VS Code, or Git, these are only to be installed on central server. Okay, we don't need to install these things on individual SQL instances which are being baselined. Only on the server from where we will run the scripts. Next thing is, again on the central server, we need to install two PowerShell modules. The first one is DBA Tools and POSRS job. Just to repeat the same thing, this also has to be done on the same server, inventory server, not on individual servers which are being baselined. We need these two because we are using DBA Tools functions and commands to run other things. So these two things should be installed on the central server from where we are deploying everything. So let's start with installing DBA Tools. Install module, DBA Tools, scope, all users. I'm sure you must have seen this command in a previous recorded session, but I just wanted to start from scratch. So let's go ahead, press yes. Similarly, let me write command for POSRS job. Press yes to all in this pop-up. So once DBA Tools is installed, I will install POSRS job. Apart from this, there was a requirement saying that whatever SQL instance you are baselining, that should be successfully connecting through PowerShell Remoting. What does that mean is, if I run enter PS session for the computer which I am baselining, so I am baselining the same computer on which I am running this command. So I run this command to validate PS Remoting, and you can see once I press this command, I enter into that server. So that means PS Remoting is working just fine on this box. Next thing we need to validate is, whatever server we are baselining, that server should be connecting from central server. Okay. So SQL instance to baseline, whatever instance you are baselining, that is SQL instance should be connecting from your central server. In current scenario, both are same.
Okay. Ajay, baseline means it is a monitoring server, am I right? which server I want to monitor, that server
Yes.
is called baseline. Okay.
Yes, yes. The server which
Okay.
you want to add into this monitoring, that is called SQL Instance to baseline.
Okay.
Central server would be the first server to baseline. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So if
Central
you
server
are
is central server means which server we are going to monitor the all server performance, right?
exactly, yes.
Yeah.
So there would be one server using which we will make Grafana connections, and we will create linked servers on this one server to the other servers. Okay. So central
Okay.
server will have linked servers for all other servers which are baseline.
Okay.
That is the idea. So in this case, both central and SQL instance to be baseline are one. That is this one in my case. So I don't need to do too much. I can verify that my account under which I am running this PowerShell script. So I am running the PowerShell scripts under the account this one, username. I am running PowerShell script under local administrator account.
Okay.
Okay. So I want to validate that that administrator account is successfully able to connect to the instance which I am baselining. So you see, I put the instance name and I am choosing authentication, Windows authentication, and in that username is appearing experiment administrator. So in short, I am successfully able to connect to that SQL server.
Okay. Okay.
So this is answer to your first question in which you asked why we are not using SQL credentials.
Yes.
Okay. So before going there, let me start the execution of POS-RS job. Then I will go back to the same topics which you asked in the blog, in mail, and that comment on YouTube video. So in terms of prerequisites, basic prerequisites at least, all the softwares are installed. The only remaining part is taking the clone of GitHub repositories, DBA Tools, and SQLMonitor tool. So once these PowerShell modules are done, it will happen in background. So let's leave this. Let's go ahead and do that part where we git clone our repository. Okay. So what I will do is I will open Google Chrome. I will type here DBA Tools, GitHub.
Okay.
Go for the data plat DBA Tools. Here, click on this code and copy this URL.
Yeah. Okay.
Go back to your Visual Studio Code. In Visual Studio Code, press Ctrl Shift and P. That opens the command palette.
Yeah. Okay.
Here, type git clone.
Okay.
Choose the first option, paste the URL which we copied, and press enter. It is saying me on what path or folder you want to git clone DBA Tools. I prefer to use F drive on my system. So I go to F drive and create a folder called GitHub. I enter inside that folder and then I choose this button, select repository location. So what this will do is, now it is making a clone of that DBA Tools GitHub repository locally on my system.
Okay.
Let this finish, then I will do git clone for my SQLMonitor. For SQLMonitor, simply put the URL of SQLMonitor. If you have GitHub URL, that is good. Otherwise, you can find that like this. So the URL could be ajaydwivedi.com/github/SQLMonitor.
Okay.
Scroll up. In the code, again, click and copy this URL which we got.
Okay.
Go to Visual Studio Code. In Visual Studio Code, earlier we were cloning the DBA tools. That has completed. You can see, would you like to open the cloned repository? No, I'm not interested in opening DBA tools.
Okay.
Let me clone our SQLMonitor now. I already copied the URL, so I pasted this URL here. And I pressed enter from keyboard. Like last time, it is asking me where you want to save it. I already created the GitHub folder on F drive, so I will choose that folder and select the same button, select repository location. So it is cloning our SQLMonitor GitHub repository. Why I am going this way? Reason being, I update the SQLMonitor tool quite frequently. Okay. I don't want you to download the folder, then replace all the content from the previous folder, Okay. If you
Yeah.
go by the download method, it's way messy.
Okay. Okay.
The method which I am showing you here, click on this checkbox and press yes, I trust the author. The method I am showing in this case is we want to, next time whenever there is any update on the GitHub, you don't need to download it.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
First, let me create a folder like I showed in the previous session. I will create a folder named private.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then let me open that. Let me copy those two wrapper files which I showed. So install and remove wrapper files. I go to private folder and I copy them there. Okay.
Okay.
So in the private folder, now I see my wrapper instance. The whole benefit of this approach is, tomorrow if I update something on the GitHub repository, all you need to do to get the latest of the code is press Ctrl J.
Okay.
It will open the terminal on this Visual Studio Code.
Okay.
And type here git pull.
Okay.
Right now it is not working because I need to reload this, I think, once again. Otherwise, if git pull is not working here, click on this icon for source control.
Okay.
And here in this three ellipses, three dots you see at the top.
Yeah. Yes.
Right click and then select here pull.
Okay.
So it will take the latest from the GitHub all together.
Okay.
The key point here is your private folder will not be overwritten.
Okay.
So whatever content is there on the private folder, that will not be touched at all.
Okay.
So since you modified your private folder according to your environment, like you modified these variables according to your environment, you modified inventory server, inventory database or email ID according to your environment, those will remain there because they are in your private folder.
Okay.
That is the whole benefit of this approach.
Okay, understand. Okay.
Now, let's go ahead and start the installation because we have already git cloned everything. We have already installed DBA Tools and PostRS job module. Cool?
Okay. Yeah, yes.
Pretty much we don't have anything remaining in terms of basic installation and setup. Only thing now remaining is we have to do the setup using SQLMonitor script.
Okay.
Like I talked about how to do this in last session, we have to open the wrapper script. I go to my F drive, GitHub folder, SQLMonitor folder. In my private folder, I must have the wrapper for installing it. Wrapper install SQLMonitor. Simply open that.
Okay.
So,
Ajay, actually my doubt here, what is the meaning for inventory server?
Sorry?
I mean, what is the meaning for inventory server?
Let me show you my current inventory server.
Okay.
This is my current Grafana setup in my lab environment. In my lab environment, I have these many servers, all version which has SQL 2012, 2014, 2016, 2017, 2019. 5 instances are all present in just one SQL Server box.
Okay.
So 5 named instances on one box. That is all version. Then I have a DC, means domain controller, in my lab environment. Then I have a machine called demo which has 2 SQL Server instances installed on it. Then I have availability group and SQL cluster pairs. I have this SQLMonitor server and I have this workstation and SQL practice. In short, I have a lot of machines. I have baselined almost all of them.
Okay.
But what happens is, so this is my workstation from which I deploy everything all the time. Let me open that machine.
Okay.
So in my case, if I open my Grafana, which is for my lab environment, I go to this settings, configuration, data sources. Do you see I have created a data source named SQLMonitor? But if I go into the configuration of that, my central repository server name is SQLMonitor.
Yes.
So when you create a data source in Grafana, you only create one data source. That data source should point to your central server.
Okay.
Point number one. Now, if I go to my central server here, so if you remember that previous screen, central server name was SQLMonitor. If I go to central server and connect to that server here, so here is my, on this central server, what is happening is, I have entry of all the servers which are being baselined in my environment using SQLMonitor.
Okay.
So this is a special server which has entry of all other servers. I go to DBA Database. In DBA Database on central server, there are some extra tables which are not present on any other servers. Those extra tables are all server stable information, all server volatile information. Then we have a couple of views on this server which are not present on any other server. This view all server info. Let me show you the content of view all server info.
Okay.
So in view all server info, what we do is we capture all the metrics from all the servers which are being baselined and are online right now. In my lab environment, all the servers are in offline state. Only 3 of them are online. Experiment is online, SQLMonitor, and workstation. Experiment is not part of this Grafana baselining. So in short, only 2 servers are right now part of baselining, which are online. SQLMonitor and workstation. So here you will see I get metrics only for 3 instances. On workstation I have 2 instances, and then SQLMonitor server itself, which is central server. So how the central server is different from any other server? Central server has some extra objects using which we monitor all other servers.
Yes.
Okay. So you can see we have this view. In this view we store all the basic metrics for all other servers, like wait per core per minute, active requests on that server, how many connection counts, memory grant spending, physical memory, available memory, how many blockings are there, what is the longest blocking duration, page fault, CPU count, scheduler count, version of the SQL server, minor version, when the server started last time, what kind of edition, product version, IP address, host name, lot of information we fetch for all the servers from within central server. Okay, this information we fetch every 1 minute. This is the whole purpose of central server. So just to give you one liner, central server has some extra objects using which we store information of all other servers on that server.
Yes.
Apart from this, there are some tables which I mentioned earlier. So there are tables like DBO.instance details, DBO.instance host. If you check the data of this table, DBO.instance details, on central server, this will have all the server names which are being baselined. Whether they are offline or online, that will be represented by this column. Okay. My SQL instance box is offline right now. Here you can see SQL practice is offline. That's why for SQL practice you can see is available equals to 0. Okay. Once I start this machine, it will become online, and all of a sudden all the matrix collection will start for this. So while it is in offline state, on my central dashboard, it will appear in the second row for offline thing. So if I go back to my dashboard, this central dashboard, in the central dashboard it will appear in this second line. That is the idea. Second line is this one. So here you can see it is showing SQL practice instance is offline.
It's false.
If I start that, it will go away from this. So that is the whole purpose of central server. Central server is a special SQL Server instance which you baseline at the first.
Okay.
Initially, you baseline only the central server. Then you start baselining other servers.
Okay.
Because whatever servers you baseline, you have to provide the central server name as a parameter.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, basically in that PowerShell script we are mentioning inventory server means it is a central server, am I right?
Yes, inventory server or central server, they are same thing.
Okay. Okay. Inventory and central server both are same, am I right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So this is the whole benefit. This table, for example, DBA.instance detail.
Okay.
This table is present on every server. But on central server, it will have more number of rows. Whatever servers are being baselined, it will have all those server details.
Okay.
Okay. So you can see this query which I ran, it is on SQLMonitor. If I run the same query on any other server, which is not central server, for example, this local instance, if I run that query on local instance, it will have only 1 or 2 rows max.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, DBA database is in success mode. Oh man, I need to restore it. I will do that later.
Oh, okay.
But that's the idea here.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Got it.
Yeah. So let's go back to our original discussion. So
yeah.
Now we are back into experiment machine. For in this demo, what we are going to do is we are going to consider our experiment SQL Server instance as our central server as well as the instance which we are baselining. So let's start changing the details here.
Okay.
My instance name is experiment /SQL 2019. It is a named instance.
Okay.
This is the SQL instance to baseline, and this is the same server which will act as an inventory or central server. So line number 14 and line number 8 will have the same value in my case right now because it is the first server.
Okay. Okay.
DBA database and inventory database again would be same in this case because again it is the same central server.
Okay.
But I need to ensure that DBA database exists. So let me refresh database node and it is not there. So let me create this database.
Okay.
DBA initial size 500 MB for data file, for log file 4000 MB, auto growth for data file 500 MB once again, for log file 4000 MB just to reduce the virtual log file. In options, I want to keep the recovery model to be simple. DBA database is created.
Okay.
Line number 12.
Okay.
It is asking us to provide the path for DBA Tools Repository, which we downloaded. Remember? There are two things which we did regarding DBA Tools. One is we installed the DBA Tools module. We installed the DBA Tools module because there are some commands from DBA Tools which we are using for running everything. So DBA Tools was installed only on this server. Okay. But we cloned the DBA Tools because we need to copy the DBA Tools setup on every other server.
Okay.
So we need to provide the path of DBA Tools, the path where you cloned it.
Okay.
I cloned it in F drive, if you remember, F drive GitHub, DBA Tools.
Okay.
So I copy this path and I paste it in the same place. Cool. Then you have to provide the path on the remote server where the basic PowerShell scripts would be copied. Remote server means the server which is being baselined.
Okay.
So some scripts which would be copied on this particular path. Whatever path you in short choose, I prefer to keep it C drive because I always forget on other C drive is always present on every server. That is the one golden rule.
Okay.
So that's why I keep C drive basically for keeping the first one file.
Okay.
Rest of the things are common. For line number 16, I am going to replace the email ID for DBA. In my case, it will be SQL Agent Service. Cool. Now, initially, you should try to keep the minimum number of parameters before executing.
Okay.
One more thing you need to change is line number 46. You have to make sure that the path of the script install SQLMonitor.ps1 is correct. In my case,
Okay.
I cloned the SQL Monitor repository on this path, so in my case the path is absolutely correct.
Okay.
In your case, if you cloned it on some different folder, for example, in my case I did it on F drive. In your case, you might have done it on G drive, X drive. In that case, you need to replace the path here. Now, golden rule: don't enable any other parameters. Go for the basics and start the execution.
Yeah. But
if there is any error,
yeah,
then you will get that error and you work according to that error.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and run this now.
Okay.
Any questions till this point?
Yeah, actually I try in my local tab. So that time I see the two parameter need to enable. That parameter is actually, can you scroll down? I think that scroll down again.
These two?
No, not scroll down. I mean third one from top from bottom, third one.
Line number.
Line number 41 and 44. It has to be another. Okay. 41 and 44.
41 is SQL instance as data destination. 44 is confirm validation of multiple instances. Okay.
True. Yes.
There is a golden rule in PowerShell. When you don't understand what a parameter does, always look for help.
Okay.
What I am going to do is I am going to open another PowerShell session and I am going to open help for this file which we are running.
Okay.
There you can see a lot of parameters are there for this. What I am going to do is I am going to check for full help. Okay. When you go for full help, now you get a detail about all the parameters, what they mean to do. Okay. Here you can read about all those parameters, what they do. I have tried to describe each and every parameter. So one parameter which you were interested in was confirm validation of multiple instances, and here it is. Okay. So just read about it. It is saying if required for confirmation from end user in case from end user in case multiple SQL Server instances are found on the same host. Okay. So simply put, if you have more than one SQL Server instances installed on the same box. Okay. Then performance counters which you capture, they can be saved only on one instance out of those multiples. Okay. Because they share the operating system. The multiple instances, they share the operating system. In that case, you can save the performance counter operating system details only on one SQL Server instance. So you will get an error. That error will tell you that, hey, you have to confirm that you are aware that there are multiple instances on the box.
Okay.
You got my point? Okay. So if on your local system, if you have multiple instances, in that case you have to specifically tell that in which particular instance you want to save the performance data.
Okay.
So this is the line number 41. In line number 41, you mentioned that I have, for example, if I go back to my workstation machine, you see workstation. In the workstation, I have two SQL Server instances.
Yes. Got it. I have two. Yes.
Rather three. So when I collect the performance data, performance data is shared by all three instances. But I can save that only on one instance in DBA Database. So I have to, while running this script, I have to specify what would be the instance where you want to save the data. Again, there is a prerequisite. Whatever instance you are choosing for data destination,
Okay.
That should be baselined first.
Got it.
Okay. Say that you have 3 named instances on the same server.
Yes.
So the instance which will act as a data destination, that should be baselined first out of those 3.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
So for every parameter, I have tried to explain in description for that parameter. Try to go through that.
Okay. The command is help file name space full. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay.
It is the basic thing. PowerShell has lot of ways in which you can check the help for any file or command.
Okay.
You should Google on YouTube for Don Jones videos.
Okay.
PowerShell in lunches.
Okay.
He has explained all these things really awesome.
Okay.
Cool. Let's go ahead and run this script now.
Yeah.
Any other doubt before we run?
Actually, here I want to specify the, central server login credential details. Then how can I do that?
We will see.
Yeah, okay.
Before I run, why do we, if we need login credentials details, why we need that? We will talk about that first.
Okay. So basically, I want to know that where we are, how we are processing login the server, SQL server. So that's what I want to know that.
If you remember, I showed you that I am running under this administrator login.
Yes. So that is okay. So that
my administrator login already has sysadmin on the box.
Yeah.
Okay. In short, for running this script, I don't need to provide SQL credentials.
Okay.
Why I don't need to provide? Because the account which I am using for running this script, it has full access on central server and the server which is being baselined. Okay. If my login, the login which I am using to run this PowerShell script, does not have full access on inventory server and the server which is being baselined, in that case I have to provide SQL credentials.
Okay.
Right now I don't, because my administrator login is having sysadmin on the SQL Server Instance which is being baselined.
Okay.
And same happens to be inventory server also.
Okay.
Point number one.
Okay. Suppose baseline and inventory server both are different server means, then how can we pass the different credential details for them?
No. This is a restriction. You both of those servers, inventory server and your local server. Okay. They should be able to connect through the same credential. Okay. Either, like in my case, the local account which I am using to run this PowerShell script, that itself has access on both the inventory server and the instance which is being baselined. But if that is not in your case, then whatever SQL credential you pass, that SQL credential should have access on both.
Okay.
We cannot have different credentials for inventory and different credentials for SQL instance to be baseline.
Okay. So in that scenario, we can use the SA. The SA password should be same for the instance, so then we can achieve that. Okay.
Exactly. Otherwise, even if SA is different for different servers, create your own login temporarily.
Okay.
You can create any login. Say you can create a login named SQLMonitor, give it SA permission, deploy this script and delete it afterwards.
Okay.
Because that login is not required after we deploy this tool.
Okay.
Now, there is another parameter to pass Windows credentials. Why we need Windows credential? Because the remote server which you are baselining, it may be in other domain.
Okay.
It may be a work group server. Okay. So from one work group, you want to connect to another work group server. In those cases, your credentials will not work. The normal credentials will not work. For example, this machine, experiment machine.
Okay.
So I am currently on computer name experiment.
Okay.
I am able to ping my workstation machine. Let me go back to workstation machine and check the IP address for this workstation. Okay.
Okay.
You can see for this machine, my IP address is 5715, 5615. I can ping these two IP addresses from that experiment.
Okay.
Here I am again on experiment. If I ping that IP address, I am able to ping it. But would I be able to connect to that SQL Server instance? No.
Okay.
Because my local credentials, local administrator credentials are local to this machine.
Okay.
Okay. This machine is not joined to any Active Directory. So this thing will not work. Here you can see login field.
Okay.
So these are the scenarios where we need to pass SQL credential.
Okay.
And we need to pass Windows credentials, because we need to copy all the PowerShell scripts. We need to copy all the DBA Tools PowerShell module on the remote machine, which is being baseline.
Okay.
So to copy that DBA Tools on the remote machine, I need Windows credentials.
Okay.
To connect to that SQL Server instance that is being baselined, I need SQL credentials. Both of these can be same thing also.
Okay.
If you just provide Windows credentials, we try to use the same Windows credentials to connect to SQL Server also.
Yeah. So basically, the Windows credential parameter is mainly used to connect the baseline server. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah. And also SQL credential also is used to connect the baseline server.
Yes.
For inventory server, basically it will be used the administrator login detail. Am I right?
For inventory server, we will try to connect normally. Whatever login you are using, if it does not work, then we try to connect using SQL credentials. Okay? Because expectation is you will run this script from inventory server.
Okay.
Of course, you can run these scripts from any server. There is no restriction around that. But ideally, you should run all these scripts from inventory server.
Okay.
Cool. So that is the whole requirement of these two parameters.
Thank you so much. I got it. Clearly got it.
So let's start with the deployment.
Okay.
I'm going to start this. At the start, first it is trying to import DBA Tools, so it takes around 20 seconds. Once that is done, then we start doing all the checks and balances. If all the checks complete successfully, then we proceed for further setup of all the scripts and tables. So I think it has failed in one of the checks.
Yeah.
Before we go there, I will suggest you to read from start each and every line that is getting printed here, because that will give you an idea what this tool does in background.
Okay.
So here you can see these are the parameters that you have passed. You have specified the SQLMonitor path to be this. SQL instance that you are baselining is this. You have not passed any SQL credential or Windows credential. Your DDL scripts for creating the tables and objects are present on this path. Your PowerShell scripts are present on this path. You have already imported DBA Tools module. Then you are calculating what other steps are to be executed within this script. So there are a total of 30 steps that would be executed in total, starting from the first one.
Okay.
There you have not mentioned any parameter to stop at a particular step, so particular step stopping is blank here. So in short, we will start from the top, we will go to the last step.
Okay.
Then you connect to the SQL instance which is being baselined, and you fetch the basic information from that.
Okay.
This basic information is important because from this we try to find out what is the domain, what is the host name itself. Okay, because the SQL instance name is experiment/2019, but the host name is experiment.
Okay.
What version it is, based on the version we try to decide whether we want to go for compression or not.
Okay.
What service account is being used, because based on the service account we decide whether we want to go for proxy or not.
Okay.
So all these things we fetch, we analyze, and based on that we change a lot of things in the background using this script.
Okay.
And then we, so idea here is please read each and every line at least few times so that you know what this tool does in background.
Okay.
Now let's scroll to the bottom where it failed. So we got an error in the end. It is saying that kindly provide Windows credentials to create SQL agent job proxy. Now you understand why we need job proxy, because there are some SQL agent jobs which will be created. Those jobs run PowerShell script.
Okay.
If the SQL agent account is not having administrator privilege at the operating system, then PowerShell scripts will not succeed. They will fail.
Okay.
That's why we need a proxy.
Okay.
To create a proxy, we need you to pass Windows credentials.
Okay.
Now, in the last demo which I uploaded on the YouTube.
Got it. Yes, I got it. Yeah.
In that last video, what I did is I skipped this particular check.
Yes.
Okay. So, in the last video, I enabled this parameter.
Okay.
Line number 40, parameter says skip Windows admin access test.
Okay.
So with this, we were skipping this proxy check. So what happened in this case is we skipped the proxy check. That means we created the PowerShell jobs also without proxy. So jobs were created, but they were failing.
Okay.
Today we want to take different route. Today we want to pass the Windows credentials.
Okay.
Last time we did not pass Windows credentials. Rather we skipped it because I wanted to show you guys how the things work in background. What kind of jobs we have. But today I don't want to go that route. So what I will do today is I will pass Windows credentials, which this one is asking for. Okay. So first let's create a credential here. Since I am on a non-domain machine which is not joined to any domain, so I will pass an administrator credential here.
Okay.
So I am going to select this much portion and I am going to execute this code. It will ask me for the password of administrator account.
Okay. Yes.
I am going to paste it here. Not paste, rather type it here and click OK. So what happened by this? My administrator login credentials are saved in this variable now. I select this variable and I run this again just to verify that this is saved here.
Okay.
Cool?
Okay.
Now I am going to copy this variable and I am going to pass this variable as a value for Windows credentials. So I enable the Windows credentials and I pass that value here.
Okay.
And I will rerun this script. Check this box so that the script will automatically be saved and click OK.
Okay.
There we go. This time we should not receive any error.
Okay.
So what will happen this time is, since we passed the credentials, using the same credentials we will create credential in SQL Server. And then using that credential we will create a SQL Server agent proxy. And using that proxy we will run those jobs which need PowerShell, which need to execute PowerShell commands.
Okay.
Cool. So you can see we are almost in the end. Step number 23.
Yes.
Almost done. Yep, we are done. So you can see we completed the execution in just 45 seconds.
45 seconds, yeah, correct.
A few key points.
Yeah.
You can see here the jobs which need credential and proxy, it would be mentioned here in the log. Here you can see update job, this is the job to run under the proxy.
Okay.
So whatever jobs are running PowerShell commands in background, they will have this extra line.
Okay.
Here, for example, the job name is DBA collect disk space, that is also running under proxy. The job name is DBA collect OS processes, that is also running under proxy. Collect perform data, that is also running under proxy. Remove X event files, that is also running under proxy.
Yes.
SQL Server versions, this is running under proxy. Instance availability, this is running under proxy. Get all server info, this is running under proxy. So lot of jobs are running under proxy account because they run PowerShell scripts. So I assume things went well. Let's go and validate on the SQL Server instance. I refresh the databases node, I open the database, DBA database, and I refresh the tables node, and here we can see lot of tables have got created. The instance which are being baselined on the inventory server, that is being saved in this object, dbo.instance, instance details. Right click, select top 1000 rows, and you will see each and every instance entry which is being baselined on the inventory server. Let's go to SQL agent jobs. These many jobs have been created. I'm going to open job activity monitor to see if all of them are running fine. So you can see last outcome is showing succeeded for all of them. Cool. Whatever jobs we create, they have specific naming convention. All of them start with DBA keyword like this, within brackets DBA. And all of them have the same job category. You can see all of them have the job category DBA. So let's check the history of one job which is most critical, that is collect perform data. I right click on the job, view history. I go to the latest execution. I start from the bottom in that latest execution. So just go through it, read each and every line one by one, and I don't see any error here anywhere in the log. So in short, this job is running just fine. If this job is running fine, then all other jobs, there is a high probability that all other jobs are running fine. Before we started this session, I already downloaded and installed Grafana, but I did not configure it. So let's configure the Grafana also. Let me validate if Grafana is there. Get service name should be Grafana. Yes, Grafana is already installed. Let me open Grafana portal. Type localhost :3000, which is the port for Grafana. Type default username and password admin. It is, since I am logging it for the first time, it is asking me to change the password. I'm going to change it. Once you install Grafana, the first thing you need to do is you need to create a data source. Type SQL Server here, Microsoft SQL Server. Here give it any name. I prefer to keep SQLMonitor as that is the name of our tool. In the host, you have to provide the central server name. In the database, provide the central server database name or inventory server database name. In the login and username, type Grafana, all in small. We create
that Grafana user already have to be created,
yes.
Right?
Yes. As part of the setup, we create a Grafana user which has read-only access on the DBA database. Okay. Using the same user, we create all the link servers for other instances. On central server, of course. So we create link servers on central servers, but for other instances which are baseline. The credential we use is Grafana. Click on save and test. Connection succeeded. That means our data source is ready. Now let's create a folder. The folder name should be SQL Server. SQL and next S should be capital. Rest of the characters should be small. Now I am inside SQL Server folder. I am going to import couple of dashboards. I am not going to import all of them, just couple of them. Because we already saw how to do this in last session. So
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, don't want to repeat all that thing.
Okay.
SQLMonitor in Grafana dashboards folder. Let me do it distributed one. Make sure that the folder is selected to be SQL Server. In the data source, mention your data source that you created. In my case, it is SQLMonitor, and simply click import. And there we go. Now our dashboard is working just fine.
Wow. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
I already explained all these dashboards in previous sessions, so probably I will
Yeah.
you to watch all those sessions.
Yes.
Each of these metrics have really real-time value. In my organization, I have installed this SQLMonitor on around 48 servers, all production servers.
Okay.
Using this, I troubleshoot all my production servers in real time, and it's really very helpful because I see CPU, memory. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, actually, we have the one environment in AWS RDS. Shall I configure and monitor using these our SQL monitoring tool?
Sorry?
I mean, we have the AWS RDS environment in production environment. So shall I use the can I use this SQL monitor tool to monitoring the RDS environment?
I don't know about RDS environment. Probably you can try. There is no harm. It will fail if it does not work. That's all it will happen. I have it will work for EC2 instances.
Okay.
Because EC2 instances are nothing but virtual machines like we are running right now.
Yes.
RDS instances I am not aware.
Okay.
But anyway, AWS EC2 it will definitely work because EC2 is nothing but a virtual machine on cloud.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Awesome, man. I think that's it regarding this. If you have any question, fire.
Okay. So myself, I will try my local laptop and do some performance monitoring activity. Then I will come up with any query.
Yeah. Sure. Just one request.
Yeah.
The way I git cloned everything using Visual Studio Code, I showed you how to pull the latest code. Always before deploying on any server, take the latest code always.
Okay. Sure.
Good.
Yeah. Sure.
Man, because I have struggled as a DBA for very long time.
Yeah,
Without baselining, it is very hard to tell what was wrong.
Yeah, definitely.
For example, right now I am working as a performance tuning expert in my organization. I only do performance tuning.
Okay.
But there are quite a lot of occurrences where they involve me, saying that, hey, can you tell us 4 hours back we had a lot of slow queries.
Okay.
Performance was really slow. In those cases, these dashboards come very handy.
Yeah. Okay.
Because with these dashboards, you would be able to see what was the issue, whether CPU was issue, memory was issue, disk was issue. Okay. We have X event data getting captured.
Okay.
But how I start this performance tuning, I usually look for weight stats dashboard.
Oh, okay.
If you see this, if you go to this weight stats dashboard,
okay.
Let me show you for my SQL practice instance. Oh, it will not appear because it is in offline state right now. I won't be able to see. Go back to a session where I talked about this weight stats.
Okay.
That I explained how we start the performance tuning.
Okay. Already you have the provided video, am I right?
Yes, it's there.
Okay.
I have created one video for each of these dashboards. So 5 videos should be there for each of these dashboards.
Okay.
In future, we will have many dashboards.
Okay.
Because we are collecting lot of information. For example, we are collecting X event data also, extended events we are capturing who is active data.
Okay.
So we have really good information in this infra. Only thing is I am not able to expose those things. I am not able to create Grafana dashboards till now because of time crunch.
Okay.
But there are a lot of scenarios on which I can create Grafana dashboards. One dashboard I can create on the logins and programs, what login and program consumed how much CPU or IO yesterday, today, day before yesterday, and we can compare. Whenever there is high CPU, we can directly see which login is consuming how much CPU directly from the dashboard. And we can directly contact those people.
But in that query, it will not show the particular query which is consuming more CPU. But
we will see everything. Because
okay.
Because you see here in X event we are capturing all the sessions along with their CPU utilization, how long they ran, logical reads, physical reads, how many row counts they returned.
But the problem here, actually, I see your. Few weeks back, I requested you which are the queries are taking more time. So on particular time period, using the result of who is active. So in that,
you can use who is active or this resource consumption info also, whatever you like.
But in that particular recipe, we have a lot of around more than 100 lines. We have queries are built. So especially we want to which particular query consuming how much CPU. But in that in that query result, it's showing blankly the particular SP only. But
no. So I have created from SP who is active. You can get any information. First thing.
Okay.
Okay. For that, for example, there is a stored proc which has 1,000 lines of code. Okay. But stored proc ran for say 30 minutes.
Okay.
We are running SP who is active every 2 minutes.
Okay.
That means we will capture that stored proc's execution at least for 30 divided by 2. That means 15 times.
Okay.
In those 15 times, we will get to know what query is running in those 15 instances. Okay. Apart from that, who is active tells you how long that query has been running.
Okay.
So in who is active.
Okay. Can you show me that the capturing of who is active parameter?
We will take that in next session. Okay.
Already I seen that your script in that GitHub, but in that parameter fully inner.
No. There are a lot of scripts. Don't worry. There are a hell lot of scripts that I have created.
Okay.
I'll show you. Where is my SQLMonitor SSMS solution? I'm opening that SQLMonitor SSMS solution. Give it a second. Now, I'll start my SQL practice instance. In the meantime, I will connect to local instance. If you go to the SQL queries folder in here, you will see all kinds of queries here.
Yeah.
Okay. Two of them are resource consumption. That means X event based data observation for high CPU for distinguishing the logins or programs which how much CPU they did yesterday versus today.
Okay.
This is that one. How much reads they did yesterday versus today. This is this one.
Can you open that SP who is active _ infra?
Yes. We will talk about them in next session. That's what I'm telling. But we have all kinds of queries, and using these queries in my current environment, I troubleshoot everything.
Okay.
So you can see here, I have all those queries.
Okay.
So I'll show you all these things. Don't worry.
How do I know that? When are you are taking the session? How can I register that you are coming future session?
I'll tell you in future releases. Okay. In future sessions, I will tell you how to do that. Probably how we will go is we will connect to SQL. We will connect to Slack.
Okay.
I have my own Slack workspace. Okay. I have my own Slack workspace.
I am asking how do I know that you are future session?
I will tell you. That's what I am saying. I have my own Slack workspace.
Okay.
We will connect. You have to log into my Slack workspace.
Okay.
So I have this ajaydwivedi.com Slack workspace altogether. This first one.
Sure.
Okay. ajaydwivedi.com, ajaydwivedi.slack.com. So
Okay,
in
Sarva.
future
Okay.
videos, I will share how to connect to this. And
Okay.
then I have channels like SQLMonitor, live training. So whenever I would have a session, live interactive session like this, probably we will have every Sunday, not before
Okay.
that. So
Okay.
here I will announce.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay.
But I hope that you would not need that. You would not have those many questions for interactive session, because what I will do is at least twice in every week I will try to cover every scenario of performance tuning.
Okay.
I
Okay.
will upload videos like this. The session,
Okay.
the scenario which you are saying,
Okay.
similar kinds of scenarios I will generate and upload videos on YouTube. So
Okay. Ajay Dwivedi
yeah,
slash start.
ajaydwivedi.slack.com.
One.
ajaydwivedi.slack.com.
Yes. Yes. Sorry. I mean
Yeah.
that name is not clear. Okay.
Yeah. Ajay Dwivedi is my name, na? So
Okay.
.slack.com.
Not
It
that.
is the
Okay.
workspace. It is called workspace in Slack. Slack.
Okay. 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 Okay.
Cool. So if you have a Slack, you have to simply click on this plus.
Okay. Okay.
The plus is saying add workspaces. And when you click on here, it is saying sign into another workspace. Click on that. It will take
Okay.
you to the browser. In the browser, you here you mention the workspace that you want to connect. So sign into a new workspace here.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay.
Here you
Okay.
go and you specify the workspace name that I have here. So here you have to say ajaydwivedi.slack.com.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, like that. I don't exactly remember, but
Okay.
that's how you have to. Oh, it is asking for email ID. You have to provide email ID, or you can log in using your Google sign in.
Okay. Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
So just try, experiment it. It has been long since I logged in.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, this is the future way of communication, because in Slack we can share the codes, we can share screenshots.
Okay.
So it's
Okay.
much easier in Slack to communicate.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
You can share queries, execution plans, wait stats, all those things easily in Slack. That's the
Oh,
future mode of communication for us.
super. Super. Okay. 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 Okay.
So thanks,
Thank
thanks
you.
buddy for joining.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much, Ajay. Thank you. Thank you so much
And
for being. Yeah.
once again, I request you to share this video. And if there is any friend who is also interested in videos like this, ask him to subscribe and like the
Sure.
video.
Sure. Definitely. Definitely. Yeah. Sure.
Thank you, man. Thanks, guys.
Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Bye.